We acknowledge and respect that we are gathered on the traditional lands of the Anishinaabe people of Turtle Island and proudly recognize our local host, Atikmashing Anishinaabeg. We also recognize the contributions of the Wanapate First Nation and the Métis Nation of Ontario.
Hi there, welcome to Mechanical Engineering at Cambrian College. My name is Jim Allman and I'm the coordinator of your program. And I'm coming to you from one of your lab classrooms here at Cambrian College. Over the next few minutes, I'm going to go over important information for you on what to expect before you come to Cambrian and what you can expect on your first day when you get here. Since you have many different videos to go through, I'm only going to concentrate on the most important information right now. But if there's anything that I miss or anything that you require further clarity, please don't hesitate to reach out to me. Before we get started, you might be wondering, what is a coordinator? Well, first and foremost, I'm a professor in your program, so you're going to be seeing a lot of me. But more precisely, I'm here to help guide you and advise you on things that you might not be able to get answers for otherwise. Let's say you have a timetable conflict, or you need to deal with some transfer credits. Maybe you need special accommodations here at the college, or maybe you're interested in joining our applied research group. That's where I can help out, and if I can't get you the answers directly, I can help point you in the right direction to people who can get you the right answers.
Here's my contact information. Don't worry if you don't have a pen right now. I'll be showing this at the end of the presentation as well. But I did want to talk about a couple of other contacts you should keep in mind. The Office of the School of Skills Training, Engineering, Technology, and Environmental Studies is located in room 1714. In this room, you'll find the dean and the chair of your department. So if there's something that you can't get an answer from me, you might be able to get an answer from one of them. When it comes to your other faculty, the best way to look for their contact information is to look at the course syllabus or the information that they provide on Moodle. Let's take a look at what we're going to address over the next few minutes. We'll look at some of the key dates you need to keep in mind as you get ready for your school year. We'll do a brief introduction to the types of courses that you'll be taking and look at your timetables. We'll touch on student cards and textbooks. We'll talk about the different types of equipment and tools that you need to have with you when you come to school. We'll also address the expectations of you as a student in the classroom. We'll talk about safety, and of course, we'll look at a few tips for your success when you come to college. Next, let's take a look at some of the key dates that you need to keep in mind. I should also note that you should be continuously checking the academic schedule as it's posted on cambriancollege.ca for the latest information on these dates. Cambrian follows what's known as a 7-1-7 semester, so you have 7 weeks of instruction, 1 study week, and then another 7 weeks of instruction. In your first 7 weeks, the important dates you have to keep in mind are the last day to register for a program or course, the last day to withdraw from a program or course with a refund, and then the date that you need to keep in mind when all the fees are due. In the final weeks of your semester, weeks 9 to 15, the first week after study week, usually the first week after study week, will be your last day to drop a course without academic penalty, and then your end of term will end at the end of week 15. Now let's take a very brief look at the courses that you'll be taking in your first semester. You'll be taking a math course in algebra, an engineering graphics course, which is the use of AutoCAD. You'll take an engineering materials course, an introduction to metrology and geometric dimensioning. You'll take a physics course, and you'll take an English course in college communications. And finally, you'll be able to take a general education course of your choosing. What's important to note is that in the first week or so of classes, timetables can change. So it's important that you're always checking your My Cambrian dashboard on a regular basis for the latest information. There are a number of things that you can do before you come to class or within your first week of class. And here's some of the things that you should probably keep in mind. You'll need to get your student card. It's required for access to the gym, and it may even be required for some testing and other things. There are virtual and physical versions of the card, so make sure you've got one at the ready. When it comes to textbooks, it's important to keep an eye on the My Cambrian book list. Some courses require physical textbooks, some courses require digital textbooks, some require no textbooks at all. Your course descriptions will help give you an indication as well, and of course, your faculty will provide you information on what exactly you need. If you have any other things that you need to address with the Enrollment Center, I've included a link at the bottom of the screen here, but you can find it by going to the cambriancollege.ca website. In addition to getting those items, there are tools that you're going to require to have with you when you come to class. And here's a rundown of what you are going to need. You'll need a computer. So you'll have to refer to the Cambrian bring your own device policy for the exact specifications of that computer, but you will need to have that with you, along with possibly some software that will either be part of your requirement or part of what's supplied to you. You're going to need a journal and or a notebook to take notes, and obviously pens, pencils, rulers, those types of things. Personal protective equipment. At a minimum, you're going to require safety boots and glasses, but there may be additional things that you need to bring, and your instructors will let you know, for example, software, other safety devices, or other equipment that you may need. Next, let's have a quick discussion on the classroom expectations. These are things that you need to keep in mind whether you're attending class in an actual classroom in person or attending virtually online. I like to break it down into 3 chunks. At the bottom of our pyramid here, we have attendance and tardiness, mobile devices, class participation, academic dishonesty. In the second tier, you have to be thinking about your assignments and tests. And in the top tier, safety should always be top of mind for everyone. So what does that look like? Well, in terms of attendance, you're always encouraged to come to class. We're all adults, we run on our own schedules, but you do have a timetable that provides you with when your courses are offered and where they're offered. And it's always beneficial to be there in person to learn the information firsthand rather than reading something or getting it from some other individual or peer. But when it comes to attendance, please make sure you're on time. If you're running late, which happens, please find a way to notify your professor if you're running late so that you're not coming in and disturbing the class when you arrive. And if you do miss class or you get late, don't expect the professor to start all over again for you. It's your responsibility to find out what you missed after the class is over. Again, either from your instructor or from one of your peers. The use of mobile devices in class will vary depending on which faculty you're dealing with. Each professor has their own policy on mobile devices, so please make sure that you are aware of what their expectations are. But at the very least, please keep them silent when you're in class. And when you are in the class, please participate. Ask questions. Because if you have a question, chances are somebody else has the same question and may not have been brave enough to ask. And it benefits everyone when you participate and ask those types of questions, because often it leads to discussions on topics that would not necessarily be covered under the regular lecture, but may be applicable nonetheless to whatever it is you're talking about. Cambrian College also has an academic dishonesty policy, and they will be fully enforced. You'll have information on your Moodle pages. You'll also have information probably in your orientation packages. So please refer to that policy and understand the do's and don'ts of academic dishonesty at Cambrian. Assignments and tests. Please pay attention to your due dates and make sure that you have some way of tracking your due dates. Late assignments could incur penalties, and it's entirely at the discretion of the instructor to accept an assignment after the due date, especially if they've given you a lot of notice as to when it is due. When it comes to tests, you're expected to write the tests as they are scheduled. Exceptions may be made in the event of an emergency or some kind of college sanctioned event, but it would be a rare occurrence. If for whatever reason you will not be able to make it to your test on time or not at all, you must contact the instructor prior to the test to explain the reason for your absences if applicable. It's too late to come to them afterwards in most cases. And students who haven't followed this procedure will likely receive a grade of 0 if they miss the test. Safety is paramount at the college, whether you're in your labs or your classrooms. personal protective equipment may be required. If it's in a lab, it will almost 100% be required, but you may be required to wear PPE in other areas too. In fact, you'll be asked to leave if you don't have the proper PPE for the activity that you are attending, or if you're not wearing it correctly. Students are expected to operate tools and equipment with care and be aware of their surroundings at all times. Okay, now it's time to offer some advice and tips on how you can be successful and get the most out of your education at Cambrian College. As I mentioned before, attend class, but don't just attend class, be attentive, participate, ask questions, take really good notes. You should also manage your time wisely. Use your agenda, use your timetable, use whatever method you use to calendars or etc. to make sure that you know when your assignment and test due dates are, when your classes are, etc. And make sure that you're doing coursework on a weekly basis. You may not always be given actual homework to do, but there's always an opportunity to review what you've studied that particular week. Make sure that you get to know your fellow students and collaborate, work with them, join study groups. Share your group project work whenever it's permitted, because that allows you to start getting used to the idea of working in teams, which you're going to need when you move out into your final careers. Get to know your professors. They're pretty resourceful. They're also quite approachable, and their goal is to make you succeed. They want you to succeed, so please feel free to reach out to them. Also, and I can't stress this enough, please take advantage of tutoring and other services that are available at Cambrian College. I'll talk about some more about that in a moment, but there are a lot of services available to you as a student to help you succeed, and they don't cost anything, so please take advantage of them. My last little bit of advice here is to take ownership of your education, because it is your education. So take into account all of these things that we've talked about so far to set yourself up for success at school, but also in your future career. I mentioned all those services that are available, and here's just some of them, from tutoring to disability services, employment services, financial aid, counseling, Aboriginal services, workshops, student groups, and so many more. And again, all of this is free to you as a student. So please do what you can to take advantage of them if you're struggling with anything.
So that's all I had to share with you right now. I hope you found this very informative, but if there's anything I missed or if you have further questions, please don't hesitate to reach out. I look forward to meeting you very soon.